So today we have the privilege of recognizing one of our outstanding nurses, Genevieve Webster, with one of the highest honors in nursing, the Daisy Award. You can stand up. This Daisy Award was created by the family of J. Patrick Barnes after they experienced the extraordinary compassion, skill, and kindness of nurses during his hospitalization. In gratitude, they established the Daisy Foundation to recognize nurses who make a lasting difference in the lives of patients and families. The Daisy Award celebrates nurses who consistently demonstrate clinical excellence, compassionate care, and a commitment to treating every patient with dignity, respect, and kindness. It honors those who go above and beyond and leave an impact that patients and families never forget.
Good. I recently went through quite a bit of health challenges, and I've got a kind of a list of people that I credit with saving my lives. Do you think? Yeah, dude. Well, I have a hard time saying this, but Genevieve is on that list. She was I came into the emergency room after going to what I call the doc in the box. And they told me my pulse ox was 84. Get over to the hospital. You got to get some oxygen. But when I got over to the hospital, my pulse ox was 91, and they don't give oxygen in that one. But they decided that they were going to put me in a regular room, and Genevieve was assigned to that room. I came in just a few minutes after I got there and said that they had the results of my enzyme test, and that I'd had a mild heart attack, and that they were going to move me to an ICU, so I wasn't going to be Genevieve's patient for very long. They decided to come in and do a heart cath on me, not a heart cath, an echocardiogram, I guess, ultrasound.
It did.
They were going to do that on me while I was in the room.
It did.
And, you know, when you come in with any kind of heart attack situation, they always ask you, have you got any pain in your chest? And every time they would ask me that question, I'd take my little finger and I'd put it on a spot on my heart and I'd say, yes, right there. And the tip of my little finger covers it all. And they would all look at me like I was crazy.
A big waste of.
Well, they're doing the ultrasound on me, and when the blonde hit that spot, I completely lost my breath. I could not breathe. I could not talk. The room filled up with doctors, and I'm sure they're shooting all kinds of life-saving drugs into me. And I remember having a moment of compassion for the ultrasound technician, who I could tell by his face thought he was losing a patient. And about the time that I got through having that thought of compassion for the ultrasound tech, I said to myself, ooh, I think he's losing a patient too.
I'll be right back.
And about that time, my whole field of vision became Genevieve's face.
I know this one.
Right in my face. And she said, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. I now have the oxygen in your nose. The next time you breathe in through your nose. And I remember going, that can heal. I still couldn't talk, but I mouthed that I can't. And Genevieve said, you simply must. And I'd already seen that my blood pressure was in triple digits, off the chart. And the blood pressure cuff went off again. And I saw that it was no better.
This did.
Genevieve saw the panic in my face. She reached up, she turned the monitor around and said, you're not allowed to see that anymore.
One more for religion.
Breathe out, breathe in. I think that the blood pressure cuff went off about 10 times and I am still struggling to catch a breath. And every time the blood pressure cuff went off, Genevieve would lean back, look at the numbers and say, getting a little better. I think after about 10 times, I was beginning to believe that Genevieve was lying.
Philip, you got to think.
But about on the 10th one, she reached up, turned the monitor around, and said, "See, I told you it was getting better." About that time, I think I was finally beginning to breathe a little bit. But I say that Genevieve coached me through breathing in that moment, like I coached my wife through the birth of our daughter.
This is that
And my wife didn't want to listen.
everyone's getting feet.
And I don't think I was listening the way I probably should have. But Genevieve's face was still right there in my face. And so, Genevieve, you're one of the people that I put that check mark beside. I don't think I would have seen that heart surgeon in North Florida if it hadn't been for you.
I'm glad.
Thank you so much.
Oh.